And you know the drill. Let's get this party started. All righty. Turn on my computers. Hopefully you guys already have yours on and ready to go. I'm sure some of you, I could tell, got on a little early, which I like. I like when you get on early and get in some extra warm up. If you haven't figured it out yet, typically I'm doing about a 5-minute warm up because I'm talking for like 5 minutes, waiting for everybody to jump on and all of that. So 5 minutes with my talking and then 5 minutes with me, and then we'll jump right into the workout itself. So what is on the agenda for today? Well, today I called this one building blocks because it's kind of helping you to build the ability to go from one level of intensity to the next. So you can obviously, and as always, all of these workouts, do them at your ability level. It's also good to have motivators like myself and other people around you to keep you on task. But I don't expect you to kill yourself in the workout going harder than you're able to at your current fitness level. So keep that in mind as you do these. So right now I want you to be in a nice easy gear in your small ring in the front, probably your easiest gear in the back. Just spinning your legs, allowing you to just warm up the legs a little bit more. So as we go through this workout, this building blocks workout, it's going to be a little different of a warm up than we typically do because I'm going to go straight into it. And that's because the way this works is we're building as we go. So we're going to build and you're going to get more and more warmed up as you go. Some of you may notice that as you're aging, it may take you a little longer to get warmed up, and that's okay. So you might find that 2 hours into a ride, you're actually starting to feel really good. And that's just because the body needs a longer time to get warmed up. And if you've had an endurance background and you've been riding for a lot of years, that means that the body it understands the endurance portion, and it's okay for the body to take a little longer to get warmed up. But sometimes what happens is it's near the end of a ride. So keep that in mind. If you can, during some rides, get in time before you ride with a group, then that's a good way to go too, because then you don't have to warm up with the group. You're already warm once you get going. So those are things we could think about when we get back out on the road. I did get in a ride last Saturday. It was like 40 something. Not too bad. If you dress appropriately, things seem to go okay. Of course, I was riding my gravel bike on the road just because I didn't want to deal with the salt and the cinder and the grit on the road. So riding the gravel bike seemed to be the best way to go. And it was a little windy, but that's okay. Wind just helps to get you stronger. So don't hesitate to go outside at this time of the year. Just know that you have to dress appropriately, and you might not be able to ride as long as you typically would because the body starts to get cold in those elements. Feet and hands, obviously the hardest part. So I do have to admit, after an hour and a half, started feeling my feet a little bit, but was able to get in almost 30 miles. That was good. That felt good. It felt good to be outside, breathing the fresh air. All right, so as I said, we're going to start this a little differently than we normally do. We're going to do a 5-minute effort in our big ring around your 15. We're going to stand for 30, sit for 30, do that for the full 5 minutes. And then we're going to get right into some really good efforts that you're going to, I think, enjoy. So right up to your big ring, down to like the middle of your cassette. You want to have enough resistance under you to give yourself the ability to stand up. And remember, it's straight up. 3, 2, 1. Hands in the hoods. Straight up. Hips should be over your ankles. You should feel the saddle just in between your legs. If you're not comfortable with standing right now, stand up for as much as you can, and then sit back down. Allow your upper body to be relaxed. Sitting down, staying in this gear, pushing this out a little bit, starting to flush that lactic acid out of the legs. Working to warm up. You start feeling a little breathless. That's okay. And up. Shoulders should be open. If your hands are on your hoods, that'll put you in a great place. If your hips are too forward, you're going to really feel this in your thighs. And sitting down. "30 seconds. Not that tough. Starting to feel the legs burning a bit. That's what we want. And up. I want you to think about what you're doing with your feet. Do they feel light under you? Are you pushing your toes down or pushing your heels down? If you are, I want you to just flatten your feet. And down. Good solid circular pedal stroke. What you feel right now as you pedal seated is the same way you should be pedaling when you're standing. If you've mastered that little bit of pull up and up, that helps you as you're standing. Now, know when you're outside, your body might move a little more. That's okay. If the bike is naturally moving underneath you, that's what you want. And down. I saw a video recently of Demi Vollering. She's a professional female cyclist. And it was her climbing out of the saddle. And the really cool part was her body was right in the plane of the bike, but the bike was moving back and forth, up. So her body stayed within that center line. but her bike was moving freely under her. Of course, that doesn't happen on a stationary bike unless you have one that's a rocker and down, or you have a rocking sled underneath your stationary bike. Those things kind of scare me in a way. I'm sure people have fallen off of them. 3, 2, small ring, easy gear. Take a drink. So those bikes that have movement left and right, they do give you a good natural feel. But I'm sure some people probably test the limits of how far you can go, and they just crash to the ground in the process. So nice and easy right now. You know the drill. Go easy on the easy parts, because that's where you get your recovery, and allow yourself to go at that level that you feel you can manage for the higher efforts. All right, here's how this is going to go. The first minute, and these are going to kind of go pretty quickly, and I'll guide you obviously through them all. The first minute's going to be 15-second increases. So that means every 15 seconds, you're going to shift to a harder gear, and I want you to increase the intensity. So that means the last 15 seconds, you can go as hard as you think you can manage. But remember, you got a whole 50 minutes left to go. So don't blow your wad in this first 10 minutes. Manage these, but I want you to also put some intensity to them at the same time. So what's going to happen is you're going to start in your small ring around your 23, which is probably 1 or 2 gears harder than your top cassette. Each 15 seconds, we're going to increase that cadence. So what's going to happen? Each 15 seconds, your cadence may go up or down based on how you're shifting and how hard the gears get for you. All right, so find that gear. Here we go. Start with your cadence at 90 plus. 3, 2, 1. Hold it nice and steady. Because remember, we want you to get faster with each gear shift. Shift in one harder gear. Use a metric that you can use to follow, either its cadence, or its speed, or its power. One more shift. Keep the intensity, get it a little faster. You should be able to get at least to 100 in these gears. And another shift. Make this as hard as you can go. Really push it out. It's only 15 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Back up to where you were from the top. Nice and easy for a minute. All right, that was the first build. You guys know me well enough. We're going to 2 minutes. This one's going to be 30-second builds. You're going to start in the same gear as the last. Small ring 23. Every 30 seconds, you are going to increase the intensity and shift to one harder gear. So stay focused a little longer with the effort. And again, the gears are going to go in the same order as the last. So see if maybe you can match what you did last time. If you can remember where you were in terms of your intensity. Stay focused. Use your metrics. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 30 seconds. This is the beauty of indoor training in the winter. If you use those metrics to your best of your abilities, they are your guide. It's a great way to allow yourself to have something to focus on, keep you accountable, and get you to go where you want to go. One harder gear, 30 seconds, a little harder in the intensity. My goal is to see if I can keep 100 cadence for every one of these. The gearing's not that hard, so it should be able to do that. Just about the time. One harder gear. We're doing 2 minutes total. You have 1 more minute to go. It's cool for me because I'm using power. I can see my power increasing with each shift. And shift again. Last 30 seconds. Use your core. Remember that core helps you to keep the legs going. Hands should be nice and light on the bars. Might be time to turn on the fan. 3, 2, 1. Back up to the top of your cassette. Nice and easy. Take a drink. 1 minute. All right, I gotta mark these off so I can remember where I am. All right. You know me well enough. 4 efforts. Next gearing. 45-second build. And here's a twist for this. You're going to be in your big ring, and you're starting at your 23. So that's going to change the intensity a bit, and it's going to change the cadence. You might not be able to hit 100. You might only be able to hit 90 and then move maybe to 80 as we shift down. So go ahead, find your big ring. Not a lot of rest. 45 seconds, let's go. Nice and steady for each of these. You're going to build a little bit of strength, more than leg speed here. But the gearing is light enough that you should be able to keep a steady cadence at the same time. Now, I can already tell in this first gear, I'm hitting the power that I was hitting in my third gear in the small ring. Get ready to shift. 3, 2, 1. Shifting down 1. Increase the intensity. Just a tad. Don't go too hard. Do your best to keep the cadence at something significant. We're doing 4 by 45. This is number 2. Shift in one gear harder. Number 3. You'll see a different kind of intensity now. Legs have to work a little bit more. Hold it steady. Keep the legs moving. Don't stop yet. Last shift. Last 45. See that power increase? See the intensity change? $15. 5, 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Easy gear. Woo! Warming up now. Towel off, take a drink. You know what your charge is. Finish that water bottle by the end of the workout. All right, next, we're doing 4 1-minute efforts. Same gearing, big ring, 23 to start. So a little harder, a little longer. So pace yourself. Go ahead and get to your big ring. 1 minute. 3, 2, 1. First one, let's go. Big ring 23. If you have a metric that you used on the last one, try to use the same one for this one. Keep it steady. I think I mentioned it last week. I always play the game. See if I can get my power not to jump around or get my cadence to be consistent through the entire time frame that I'm trying to do an effort for. Now that means you have to pedal evenly. And let me tell you, if you're pedaling circles, you will pedal evenly. One harder gear. Into the second minute. Working up this ladder, down the cassette. The other thing is to focus on one metric, then you're not getting lost and trying to look at too many things. If you need a drink through any of these efforts, you're welcome to take a drink. These efforts are getting longer. Some of you are starting to just warm up. One gear harder. Cadence may drop. Effort should increase or stay where you can make it. These are good kind of efforts that you could do actually on a flat section outside or even on a climb. Force yourself to get faster and get to the top, which is really hard. Coming up on the last one. One more shift. Last minute. Stay focused. Don't let your mind convince you that you're ready to be done. You only have 30 seconds. Nice light feet. Keep your shoulders down. Five, 3, 2, 1. Woo-wee. Nice. Get a drink. Now I'm going to be nice and easy to you. We're going to get 2 minutes rest. Then we're going to go into a 3-minute effort. This is kind of the in between the workout. So all I want you to do in that 3-minute effort is I want you to just get in a comfortable endurance kind of effort, keeping your cadence between 85 and 90, and holding that effort for a solid 3 minutes. So this is like the intermission of the workout, because I'm sure you can guess what's happening on the second half. So allow yourself just to spin it easy here. Think about what gear you want to be in, what effort you want to put in. Remember, if you're breathing like you're not going to talk to me with a few words, that means you're going too hard. If you're in an endurance zone, you should be able to talk to me in at least 3 to 4 word sentences. That means you're in the right place cardiovascularly, and you're allowing the body to build that solid foundation there. All right, so pick your gear, what you think you want to be in. Small ring, big ring, 85, 90 cadence. Let's get this started and just keep it at a nice even pace. No higher than 95 on the cadence. If you're going 100, you might be in way too easy of a gear. So allow yourself to kind of sink into the effort, meaning almost like put yourself in a trance and feel the same throughout the effort from start to finish. Now, if you start to fade after that first minute or two, maybe you started a little too hard, or you're just building a longer effort for yourself that you haven't been to yet. And in the winter, it's okay if you start to drop off at the end of efforts. You'll build those as the winter goes by. That is if you keep coming to the sessions. So that's our work, our job in the summer is to keep some fitness in place. Because in the winter, we can work on that on our trainers. So when we come out in spring, we're not completely dead. You're halfway there. Minute and a half done. Are you staying consistent? Your cadence the same? The effort the same? How's your breathing? Take it all in. Analyze it for yourself. 2 minutes down. 1 more to go. Not too bad, 3 minutes. Keeping it steady. So this is actually like a little break, a little recovery before we start the final set. $30 to go. Little bend in those elbows. Nobody has straight arms. Five to go. 3, 2, 1. All right, find an easy gear. Take a drink. Keep those legs spinning. All right. So I'm sure you can probably figure out where we're going to go. We're going to actually do what we did previous to that 3 minutes in the reverse in 2 ways. We're going to start with a 4 1-minute efforts, but you're going to go from, you're going to shift up instead of down. So it's going to get easier as you go. So that's good because that means maybe you can increase your cadence. Maybe you can make the effort even harder. And in the second half, you're going to allow yourself to work in a different way. So just as a reminder, the first effort will be a 4-minute effort, 4 by 1 minute. You're going to start somewhere around your big ring and your 17. So you can go to your 23 and shift 3 times, or you can get down to your 15 and shift up 1 or 2. So just like the previous, it's 4 1-minute efforts. But this time we're going to go up the cassette, not down. So get easier in the gearing as we go. So do your best with the cadence. You might tell yourself, let me see if I can hold the highest cadence possible. With each one, increase my cadence, maybe a couple of RPMs. All right, so find that gear. We're going to go big ring, 17. 3, 2, 1. 1 minute. Nice solid efforts. You're on the back side of the workout now. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. Think about your posture. Remember, that core is so important. If you need to sit up, find your core, bring your hands back down, keep that core engaged. Especially in these bigger gears. We need for our core to keep us upright and keep our hips rotated in the right spot. All right, one easier gear. Cadence may increase. If you're using power, it may go down. That's okay. The gear is different. Again, keep yourself focused on that metric. Pay attention to your breathing for each of these. Light feet, which means feel the upward part. One easier gear. 2 minutes in. 2 to go. Cadence should be increasing. You know what happens when your cadence increases? Your heart rate may go up. That's okay, because we're building this effort. We want the intensity for the last one to be the best minute you can give me. Because there's no more minute efforts after that. Last shift. Your cadence may be at 100. That's great. Keep your hips nice and still. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing this with their knees out. Knees are tracking in a nice plane. Your cleats are set up properly. Your feet are pointing in the right direction. Almost there. Come on. Hold on. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Easy gear. 1 minute. Ooh, we're moving now. Take a drink. Towel off. Get ready for the next one. All right, if you remember, it was 4 by 45 seconds. Big ring, 17 again. You don't have to go there yet. Allow yourself to recover. So for you guys that are watching Chris, he's almost on his second bottle, which is good because he's sweating like crazy. So he needs to replenish that, and he knows that. He learned that from experience there. All right, so find your big ring again. Back down to that 17. 3, 2, 1. 45 seconds, 4 times. Each time with the easier gear. This way is fun. Going down is a little harder. Stay focused in these later efforts. I want you to notice, depending on what kind of cleat you're using, if you have play in your cleat, meaning as you pull up the pedal, If you feel your shoe just moving a tiny bit, that means it's time for some new cleats. That's a little less power. One gear easier. Oh, I cheated you guys there. I gave you a minute. I was talking too much. All right, we'll go back to 45 now. So when you have that little bit of play in your shoe, you're losing just a little bit of power. That extra 15 seconds on the previous one, only making you stronger. All right, one easier gear. Number 3. Stay focused. Just like the 1-minute efforts. If you can make it a little harder with each one, go for it. Coming up on the last one, last shift. Nice high cadence. Come on. We want to produce good leg speed. And the change of efforts is so good because it makes the muscles fire differently. So when you go from a flat to a climb and your leg speed changes, the body already knows what to expect. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Easy gear. Take a drink. And yes, it's a 2-pager. Always love the 2-pagers. All right. We're getting there. And it's getting easier with each time. Next, we're going to do 4 by 30-second efforts. And this time you're going to be in your small ring. And around your 17, same gear as the last ones. And this is going to be great because your leg speed is going to go way about 100, if not more, by the time you get near the top of your set. So take a drink if you didn't. All right, so find that 17. 30 seconds on each one. 3, 2, 1, let's go. You should be able to start with a decent cadence. As we move up this ladder, that cadence is just going to keep getting faster, which is what we want. Now you're starting to warm up, right? Legs feel good now. One easier gear. Now, as that cadence increases, that's really when that core has to come into play. I want you to think about flattening the back part of your back, your lower back, and allowing your hips to come underneath yourself. Nice and steady. One more easier gear. Now you're really going for it. You better be at 100, if not more. I'm at 109. If you're gritting your teeth, I want you to relax your face by putting all that tension in your face. It doesn't help. One last shift. Let's go. Come on. Really push this cadence out. Get it going. Keep it steady. Try not to bounce. That's where the core comes into play. You're using that core to help you pedal. 3, 2, 1. You're already in an easy gear. Stay there. If you're not at the top of the cassette, move to the top of the cassette. Take a drink. All right. You know what the next one is. The next and the last one. Just like the beginning, 4 by 15-second builds. Now I'm going to challenge you. If you want to challenge yourself, you can start at the very bottom of the cassette, meaning your hardest gear. And every time you shift, you're going to shift up 2 gears instead of 1 or 3, so that each time you're really getting a real progression of gearing as you go. So I'm going to leave that up to you. Small ring. Pick the gear you want to start at. Every 15 seconds, we're going to increase the intensity. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Stay focused. Let's make this last one the best one. 1 gear easier, or 2, depending on where you started. Another shift. Let's go. Keep it going, keep it going. One more shift. Last shift. Let's go. All out. It's only 15 seconds. 10 to go. 5, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Find an easiest gear. We're going to do a little cool down. We're going to get in one more quick effort. And then we'll call it a night. Take a drink. Hopefully you're near the bottom of your water. How was your hydration today? Hopefully it was good. I know mine was pretty decent, and I can tell. How I can tell is actually when I am properly hydrated, I don't sweat as much because my body doesn't need to be cooling itself. If I don't hydrate properly, I seem to sweat more. So that's a lesson for yourself, is to start to pay attention to your sweat rate. I know I mentioned it last week, and that really does. It does make a difference. All right, we're going to go a couple more minutes, and we're going to do one last effort just to keep our legs fresh. Like to finish fast. You've heard me say that previously. Finishing fast, even though we did on that last effort, we finished nice and fast. We're going to keep that going. All right, I'm going to have you from where you are, if you're at the top of your cassette, I just want you to shift down 2 harder gears, just 2. I want you to settle in to 90. Just hold that 90. See how accurate you can get with holding 90. Believe it or not, when you start to work on higher cadences, 90 actually doesn't feel so fast anymore. Stay focused. Don't worry about anything but that cadence. Now increase that cadence to 95. And see how steady you can hold 95. Now this is about control, right? Control means core, leg speed, feet. How quickly are you turning those feet over? And how relaxed is your upper body? I can be without my hands on the bars and hold that cadence. Up to 100. Dead on to 100. Hold it steady. I'm right at 100. If nobody has a cadence sensor, now here's where it gets hard. 1 gear easier. Give me 105. Not 110. 105. You have to control it. Stay focused. Three, two, nice easy gear. Let's just spin this out. We'll finish at 8 o'clock on the nose. So I want to just remind you guys, since it is the winter, this is a great time to get into your bike shop, get a tune-up. This is the time of the year for them that they're really struggling. And our bike shops, unfortunately, are struggling in general anyway. I don't know if you've noticed, there have been a number of shops in the area that have closed. So we don't want that. We need our bike shops. Who's going to do our maintenance for us? Where are we going to get our parts from? Where are we going to get our new bikes from? So make sure that you're supporting your local bike shop. Every shop that I know of here in Bergen County, every single owner is committed and have had long standing histories of amazing bike shops with amazing employees. So let's help to keep those shops going. Even if it's just to walk in and say hi to the guys and gals that work there and buy some tires or something. And that's something to consider for now. Tires will need replacing. If you rode significantly last year, you will need a new set of tires. As I mentioned earlier, cleats, depending on what kind of cleat you're using, more than likely they probably need replaced. And you will notice that the foot that you put down on the ground is probably more worn than the other, just because you're putting that foot on the ground millions of times over the spring and summer, and maybe even into the winter. And then start also, I mentioned it last week, I think, if you're using electronic equipment on your bike, batteries and the shifters may need to be replaced. And cables on mechanical shifting every time you shift that gear, you're bending that wire over and over and over again. And that ultimately is going to create breakage at that point where you're shifting. And chains. We push these chains hard. If you're lubing them properly, they'll last longer. But if you're not, then you may need to replace your chain wheel frequently. And the chains of nowadays are getting a little thinner as a result of getting more gears. So give your local bike shop a try, a go, and they will be happy. That is it, guys.
Bar tape.
Bar tape. Whoever said bar tape, that's the best one.
That was Evelyn.
Yeah. And bar tape, fortunately, makes you feel so awesome when you get new bar tape.